lot of advantageous ways within social media to start really creating advertising and marketing opportunities. The average time that people spend on the site is 20 minutes. That's how it adds up to 5 billion minutes a day. There are 45 million active user groups by affinity. When I started this talk 2 years ago, it was only 6 million groups. And so in 2 years, it's went from 6 million to 45 million affinity groups. And this year, in the last few weeks, they just launched an e-commerce tool on Facebook. And so now, if you follow 1-800-Flowers, you can order any flower that you would like. Their entire catalog is available through the pages of Facebook. So Facebook is actually becoming its self-contained universe that people are going to be living in. And it's going to be a real ripe area for marketing. MySpace used to be kind of the big one in social media and has obviously been taking down the last few years. It's an open community with open communication. Right now there are 76 million users. Most of the users are over 35, but many of the active users are younger. There's been a lot of criticism with MySpace. It's a little bit more of the Wild West where Facebook has taken precautions in privacy and other things to protect their users. MySpace hasn't done as much, and so it tends to be a little bit more on the edge. MySpace is very popular with musicians and those who follow music groups. And so you have a lot of the high-end, or not high-end, but the advertisers tend to take up a lot more space within the pages of Facebook with this campaign with Target that I pulled yesterday. This is my brother's Facebook page, Jeff Caylor. He uses MySpace and Facebook and all of these tools to really do his own self-promotion. He's an independent artist. He lives in Hong Kong now, but he just launched a new album which is doing quite well, all through social media. And so Jeff actually ended up in Christianity Today as one of the top 10 albums of 2006 just by his own self-promotion through social media. And so, so it's a very, if you're a savvy marketer, you can use this and really develop quite a following through this. YouTube is the third of the sites that we'll talk about. 100 million viewers on YouTube. The average age of the uploader is 26.7 years old. And I bring up these ages because I think there's a myth that all of these social networks are just for the high school and college kids, and really that's not true. Most of the people that are on these social networks and the vast majority of those who participate are much older than high school. There's 14.8 billion views in January alone of videos on YouTube. There's 70 million videos. And the most popular video of all time, which is a music video, has had 123 million views. And if you think about that in terms of traditional media, traditional broadcast and television, that's 123 people who went to find that particular piece of media, willingly clicked on it, and watched it with an engagement. This isn't passive, the TV was on in the other room. This is someone who actually searched this. And that's another reason that the power of these social networks and this type of media is so important, because people are going and searching it and engaging with it. It's not a passive, they're being exposed to it, they're actually engaging with it. Just an example of a YouTube page. This was I did a search for Anderson, Indiana, and this is a 7-minute video put to music of someone basically driving in their car through downtown. It's not very entertaining, but it's had 800 views on YouTube. What makes YouTube social is the fact that if you scroll down, you can comment on this and respond to it with a video. You can respond to it with writing something or links to other pages. This next one was the Anderson Midnight Parade from July 4th of 2007. This one has 2,800 people have watched this video. And it is a 10-minute video about, basically it's got motorcycles and a lot of sirens, and that's about all the video is. The last one that we'll talk about is Twitter. This is the newest of all of the social media sites that we've talked about. Twitter is what they've claimed is microblogging. You can only use 140 characters or less to write your message. And the reason they chose 140 characters is that texting on cell phones is limited to 140 characters. And so Twitter allows you to, from your phone or handheld device, to be able to send a message to those people who would follow you. Like Facebook, you have friends, and Twitter, you have followers. There are 7 million active users within Twitter. This was the year-over-year increase of nearly 1,400%. It's the fastest growing demographic is 35 to 49-year-olds. And to date, and I think this was December stats, 1.4 billion tweets. A tweet is what you call a message that is sent in Twitter. This is an example of a Twitter page that has been designed. RCA is one of our clients, and we did a promotion for them in March that had to do with the NCAA tournament, and we did a social media sweepstakes called Hoops Beyond Reality. My partner Bob Bloss took the handle RCA Bob and twittered about RCA televisions and TV trivia. He ended up with 1,300 followers who voluntarily subscribed to his tweets to find out what he had to say about RCA televisions. And he did nearly 1,700 updates over the course of about 6 weeks. So we gave away televisions through Twitter when people would answer the right questions, and so we really created a following on that. The White House has an official Twitter page. They have nearly 1 million followers that subscribe to listen to what they have to say through their tweets. And again, 140 characters, and so this is a pretty condensed press release. The Ford Motor Company has done a very successful job within Twitter. There's a gentleman by the name of Scott Monty, and that's his handle at Twitter. And they have created a very engaging presence on Twitter. They have nearly, I believe it's 14,000 followers, 13,000 followers. And during the congressional hearings regarding the automakers last fall, they utilized Twitter to really get people engaged and really talking about the issues. They were one of the few automakers that utilized this platform to do that, and really were able to manage their press in a much better way because they were engaging with people rather than at them. And so that's been one of the success stories for an organization. And then Comcast also has a very popular following on Twitter. It's called @ComcastCares. And this is Frank Eliason. He is the director of digital care for Comcast.